Okay.
Okay, family. Thank you so very much. We do apologize for that little bit of hiccup there. How many? We got 9 people. We have 9 people. You know, the missus is like only, only 10.
Make sure everybody can hear us. Can everybody hear us? Somebody
Yeah,
just say you can hear and see us.
Please, 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 please.
Oh. Can y'all hear us?
We got beloved Sister Sandra. Great to see our beloved Sister Rob C. You got Bookman and Dessalines. You know what? I think, you know, our friend Dessalines, I think I was referring to you in the wrong gender. I think I kept referring to you as a brother, but I think you are a sister. Correct me if I'm wrong. Well, and Amy, thank you. And Ali, thank you for joining. Wa alaikum salam, brother Ali. We welcome you. We welcome you. So, okay. I think we have our numbers here that we can go ahead and proceed and we can get started.
Okay, Lionel's coming on.
Brother Lionel's on his way on. Let's see. Hold on.
We'll see it when he
Not yet. Okay. Just getting our guests together. We have some of them already on the backstage, awaiting anxiously. And let me greet you with peace and blessings. We are the Mohammeds, the residential tourists. 85 to Africa. We are here in the beautiful motherland, right here in Africa. And let me first give acknowledgement to my beloved wife. She looks so beautiful. Her face and her skin is just delightful.
His bald head is very succulent.
So thank you very much for joining in. We always want to acknowledge our viewers as well and our subscribers. Thank you so very much.
Yeah, we got Sister Sandra, Brother Rob C, loud and clear. He said he could hear us.
Oh, good.
And Sister Natasha's on.
Sister Natasha.
I was hoping she came on today. We're going to have some fun today. Amy Moore is on.
Thank you.
First one. She was like, I'm here front and center.
Right, the first one in line.
Officially opinionated. Now, I don't recall. Have we seen that one before?
I'm not sure. We probably have. Thank you very, very much.
Yes, officially opinionated. And there's another. Oh, Mary Mack creates. Good morning, Miss Mary Mack. So today.
Hold on. We got to finish. We have to finish acknowledging our subscribers.
Okay.
Our subscribers and our new subscribers.
We got new subscribers. Okay.
We do. We have new subscribers. I can't give them the name.
Why?
Because I don't know all of the new subscribers by name. However, we have some new subscribers. And thank you for joining the R2 family. We greatly appreciate you.
Brother Ali is sending you the greetings.
Return the greetings to you, beloved. And thank you so very much. And today is a special day. Of course, we have some great guests. We have some.
That's the goal.
We have some great guests. My wife is trying to get food together and be on this live at the same time. We have some great guests. That makes it special. However, for those of us who are aware, who know, this is the eve of the 28th anniversary of the Million Man March, which is commonly referred to. However, the broader title of it is actually Holy Day of Atonement. For those of us who were around in 1995 and who were present, those of us who were in the United States, in the mall on Washington, know without me saying how you can't put words to that particular. I don't want to call it an event. It's not an event. But it was something that was magnificent. It was something that was of divine order, and it sent ripples across the entire globe to see 1 million plus Black men come together, stand together, and make a pledge. And you know, many people don't realize that there were many key individuals. There were no big I's and no little U's, right? We were all brothers standing shoulder to shoulder, arm in arm, right? And we were all there on one accord. But there was one particular individual, key individual, who was present. And that particular individual happened to become, years later, the president of the United States of America. And I say that because that is the level of impact that this Million Man March, more than a march, it had on the psyche and the being, the well-being of us as Black people, specifically Black men, but of Black people. And I won't go into it, but I could tell you the experience that I had, and it was phenomenal. So we want to acknowledge, you know, first and foremost, this particular day.
But can I share how relevant it is as a sister for us? When, I mean, I was 20 years old when the Million Man March was just being talked about, and then it happened, of course. I just had my daughter, and for us back then, I was actually in New Jersey back then. So we were getting food together for the brothers. They were catching the buses, and
get on the bus.
The day before, we had a big prayer. I remember we did a prayer ceremony at the mosque or whatever for the sisters. We were scared. We were excited, of course, but a lot of us was actually scared because we're thinking millions of men in America are going to this march. We didn't know what could happen. We're thinking they could just send a bomb to DC and wipe all our men out. And, you know, that's because that's the type of people we were dealing with. And the whole point of marching for the brothers was to actually come back and build their families up, to stand up and make a change in their lifestyle, and all the wonderful things that the enemy really didn't want to see happen. So we were actually nervous and scared for our men. My daughter's dad was going, my brother was going, my little brother was going. I had a couple cousins that went. So for many of us, the men in our family were leaving for this big event, and it felt like they were leaving for war.
It was.
You know, that's how it felt. Like they're leaving for war. We didn't know if they were going to come home. We was nervous. And the crazy thing is I had to go to court that day. But while we were there, they had screens up in the lobby, and every screen was showing the Million Man March. And I'm from like a predominantly white town in South Jersey. So to actually see that, oh no, it was major. We knew it was major to see it in these white courts regarding the Million Man March. So it was a very exciting and scary time at the same time for us for this day.
And it was just that it was going off to war, but not a physical war. It was a call to acknowledge as Black men, which is where the atonement portion of it comes in, to acknowledge the wrongs that has placed our families, our communities in the condition that it was and unfortunately still is in. However, that one single day made such an impact on the lives of so many people and across the world that the effects of it, we may not know it or realize it, but we are seeing the positive effects of it to this day. So, you know, we can go on and on about that. So let us share with you just as a visual, so you can kind of, for those who don't know of our African family who are on and are not aware of this major day, and that we come to this day every year to remind us that we still have to be in the process of atonement, of atoning. And it was meant for us specifically as Black men and Black people in America. However, the principles of it are so solid and sound and so effective that it can be effective even within nations. So let us show you this here for a moment here. Let's see.
They poured off buses from Baltimore, Richmond, Syracuse, Norfolk, and all across the country. By midday, they filled the Washington Mall, from the U.S. Capitol all the way to the Washington Monument, a stunning sight. They heard from scores of black leaders and from the poet Maya Angelou. And at day's end, they heard from the man who called them here, Louis Farrakhan.
The march's most prominent organizer was Louis Farrakhan, leader of the Nation of Islam. Farrakhan was deeply attuned to the struggles of black America, but the solutions he offered were surprisingly familiar.
Will strive to improve myself.
He urged black men to change their behavior and atone for their failings.
Socially, for the benefit of myself, my family, and my people. We are here. We are here.
I was at the Million Man March. I respect the Nation of Islam values to bring black men back to their families, to stop this killing in these communities, to stop the disrespect of women, and to really find and claim our place in America.
They poured off buses.
Okay, so we wanted to share that with you for those, as a reminder, because, we can go about our day-to-day lives as we have been, and we can, and, they don't, anyway, they try to write us out of history, so we have to make sure we keep it in the forefront to know that, no, buddy, this was a magnificent affair for us as black people. It was a win for us. And we got to keep on striving and trying to win and take with us wherever we go with us that the principles of atonement. And I'll list those principles that they're so useful. They're useful in your household. They're useful with just one-on-one with an individual. They're useful in your church. They're useful in your mosque. They're useful in your community, which we've applied it within the communities of conflict resolution. That, again, stories can be told about how effective it is in helping to make the inner cities a better and safer place to live by applying these atonement principles within these inner city communities. And again, nations can also benefit from this as well, which is what it's all intended for, to rejoin us as black people, whether we are black from America, from the UK, from the Caribbean, or from Africa, wherever we might be, to be able to unify on the principles of goodness and move forward and progress. So we wanted to acknowledge this day, Holy Day of Atonement, and it doesn't have to be today, stop today, just keep on moving with it.
So what it also has done, if you watch, these were people coming in from all different backgrounds. A lot of people were there that was from the continent. Like he said, from different parts of the world, different parts of the country. They were flying in, taking buses in. It was a lot of different people from different parts of the world. So today, what we have done is brought in different people, Black diasporas that are from different parts of the world that is here on this continent now, unifying, trying to make a change, trying to bring skill set, trying to bring knowledge, not just to the continent, but also to tie it in.
Right.
Bridging the gap between the two. So today we would like to bring to you, we're hoping we're going to have 5 individuals. It's looking like
we got 3 solid ones right now.
3.5 right now. But we want to share a little clip of what they do, and not necessarily what they do, but where they are. So like I said, each one is still living and loving Africa. And let's show one.
All right, here we go.
Yeah. Me.
All right, so those are the faces. Those are some of the things. Doesn't even begin to scratch the surface of the level of experience and experiences that they've had and are having being here on the continent. You know, we know these individuals personally. We've had the opportunity, the wonderful opportunity to be able to be in the company, meet, befriend, all of that good stuff. And it's just a great opportunity to be able to share with you what they have experienced and are experiencing, that with hopes that it can be a mama, with hopes that with hopes that
She's trying to kill the grandma.
for those of you who are looking to relocate to the continent, whether it's to move completely or to visit, you know, for us, it's, as we've said before, it is very important that, you know, from our vantage point, to be able to provide you with and arm you with as much information and as much of closer
Gotta be
to
balanced.
give it balance, and you know, as much as closest to the reality of what you might experience if or when you come as possible. And each person is different, each circumstances are different, so it's not going to be 100%. Nonetheless,
It's going to be their story. It's
Their story.
100% their story.
right,
So please don't try to say you didn't see enough. These people, what's amazing is their bios, their backgrounds. It make me just sit down and be quiet because I don't know what I did with my little life. So the first one we're going to bring on, but before we bring him on, let me just give you a little bit of his history. You guys been waiting for him. Yeah, y'all been emailing me, asking when we bringing on the great Colin. You follow you were following his YouTube channel. So today we have live and ready. Mr. Colin been ready for a couple weeks now, live and ready to bring on Mr. Colin Roach, who is he is retired, guys, 75 years old, retired with a industrial engineering background.
and you know, I didn't even know that.
Yes.
I didn't even know, and I'm that took my admiration to another level.
Oh, excuse me. He has 2 degrees, people, not just industrial engineering. That's what he has his bachelor's in. He actually has a master's degree in public administration. Okay. Mr. Colin he's born in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know why I can never say those 2 words right. But he's lived his grown-up life in Los Angeles. He wanted to make sure that we let you guys know he's a Black man from California, from the West Coast. Okay, don't try to count him out. He's an American, and he has a story to tell. So let's bring in Mr. Colin Roach, who's also been to Rwanda. He's been to Tanzania. He's been to Uganda. He's been to multiple African countries. So please accept his journey.
Welcome,
Thank you, my
Mr.
brother.
Colin. How are you, sir?
Thank you. Finally happened.
Can't hear you. Let's see.
Yeah, unmute you.
Check your mute. Check your mute. Make sure you're not on mute.
No, I'm not on mute. I'm not on mute at all. You're not hearing me?
Oh man.
Hold on. All right. Let's see. It doesn't say you're on mute, so you should.
No, I'm not on mute at all.
Well, maybe
They said they can hear him.
okay, so
let
there's
me try.
all right, so it's us as far as the delay.
Okay. But
So
the
we have a
audience
little
can hear me.
delay. No worries.
Okay.
Okay. We can hear him. Remember, we had to do this before.
All right, we got you, Mr. Collin. We can hear you loud and clear.
So, Mr.
Right.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So, Colin, Mr. Colin, you are in Musanze in Kigali, Rwanda, right?
Yeah, I'm in Musanze, northern Rwanda, which is about 2 hours and 15 minutes from Kigali.
Okay. Give us a little information on how long you've been there, why you chose, somebody just came in, why you chose, Masanzi.
Okay.
We're trying to figure out the echo and the microphone. I'm sorry. I don't, we need that one.
I'm ready.
Okay. You're on,
Okay.
Colin.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I came to Rwanda in 2019, October of 2019. So I'm here 4 years now. My first 2 years I spent in Kigali, then I moved up to Musanze. I fell in love with this place, and I moved up here in June of 2021. And I've been in Musanze ever since. And this is my home now. I'm not going anywhere. I like living here. I'm very integrated into this community here now. Very integrated into it. One of the things that has helped me integrate into this community in Musanze is that I was born and raised in a village in Trinidad and Tobago, right? The village, it's much different from this village. We had a lot of land and so forth around us, but be that as it may, it was a village life. So it helped me to integrate into a society as this. I found that I have a spiritual connection with Musanze, with Rwanda, but particularly with Musanze. I have a spiritual connection. And I sat down and I tried to figure out what can I do at a practical level to involve myself into the community and be accepted in the community. And I've done some very, very simple things, all right? I've done some very, very simple things. And life has become rewarding to me since I've done those things.
That's amazing. What are some of those things? Because, a lot of us have those challenges trying to emerge into the community or just trying to even connect. Because, a lot of us have those challenges.
Okay. One of the things I understood, first of all, let me say one of the things I understood coming in here is that by definition, African societies are group cultures, and a natural outcome of group cultures and networks, right? And people operate in those networks. Rwandan people live and operate in those networks. Most of them are informal, but that is how they process their lives. And everything is accomplished and done through relationships, right? Now, when you understand that, once you understand that, then you realize you have to become part of at least one network, right? This is what you have to do. You have to become part of one network. The other thing you have to understand, people are not going to walk up to you and say, okay, hey, my brother, welcome to Africa. You're home after 400 years, which is what it seemed like a lot of people coming in expecting. No, that is not going to happen. When I moved from Trinidad to the United States, people didn't walk up to me and welcome me in the United States. I had to find a way to actually integrate myself into the African American community, and I did that. So, I mean, I just did the same thing here, but I used different tools. Now, when you understand that a network is what protects you, is what informs you, and it's what facilitates you, your experience and your accomplishments, then you realize you have to act accordingly. Now, once you have that in your left hand, now ask yourself, what is the kind of society I came from? And you would say, I came from the United States. Well, the United States is a very individualistic society, especially the African American culture is the very ultimate in individualism. So when I hear a lot of people here who came here to live and they said, well, I found this, so I did that, and all of these things that they found at an individual level. I am not saying it's not true, but you have to understand what your approach, what the society yielded to you was based on your approach, right? You have to make friends when you come here at first. You just have to make friends. And your friends will guide you and protect you. Rwandan people are like that. Once you make friends, they will guide and protect you. Your friends will guide and protect you. Your friends will help you, right? But they have to be your friends. It's not some guy who could walk up to you in a coffee shop and try to scam you. He's not your friend. All right? He is not your friend. It's not some individual you meet in the marketplace. You process what you want to do through your friends. You don't do a major purchase in Rwanda without letting your network know about it. You don't buy a car, you don't look for an apartment, you don't buy a house, you don't buy a fridge, you don't buy a TV, you don't do any of those things when you just get here until you run it by your network. That is the reason for your network. You will find that once you get here and you start networking, people will want to go out of their way to help you. They will say, I want to come to Kimaronko market with you. Because people are there going to double the price if someone doesn't speak Kinyarwanda. And it's not only Rwanda. When I was in Tanzania with my Rwandan girlfriend, she speaks Swahili. And when they recognized she was not from Tanzania, they doubled the prices. Right? And she was speaking Kiswahili. But I figured out she wasn't from Tanzania. She was from here. So you have to find a way around those things, right? Then the other thing I hear people complain about a lot, oh, well, there's crime in Rwanda. So what? There's crime everywhere. I mean, give me a break. I have a fence around my house for good reason. It's to keep the burglars out, you know? So I don't know what people are expecting. You cannot come with this individualistic mindset that we have in America and apply it here. It just ain't working, brother. Now, here are some simple things I did. To integrate myself in the community here where I live. One of the first things that I did.
So, Mr. Colin, do you agree? Do you agree that Rwanda is a perfect country for retirees?
Yes, yes. I don't know. I won't say it is perfect because no place else is perfect. But if you're talking about being retired and high up on the list, Rwanda should be high up on your list. I can't speak for countries all over the globe. But as a Black person, Rwanda should be high up on your list.
Thank you so much, Mr. Colin. We're going to put you if you can mute your mic so we can bring on our next guest, but we're going to keep you on the screen. Whoa. All right, so our next guest, who is actually in Rwanda right now, but she will be coming over to Kenya in a few weeks to spend some time here with me. But to spend some time
Just
here,
you.
yeah, just me. But this sister, when I got her bio, y'all, I was blown away. I'm like, what the heck did I do in my little life? Because Dr. Let me get this straight. Dr. Kenisha.
Sister Doctor.
Sister Dr. Kenisha. I'm just going to, if you guys don't mind, let me just read her bio from what she sent me today. But again, we have another sister here who has multiple degrees. She has a bachelor's from Philander Smith College, master's of, I don't know, original management from University of Phoenix. She
Organizational management.
Okay. And she has her PhD from Argos University. She holds many certifications. She's a holistic doctor as well. Let's put it that way. So she has certifications in grief immersion for deaf workers. She practices this now in Rwanda and also pretty much anywhere she goes. Integrative nutritional health and wellness coach. She's also a laughter yoga teacher.
That's very interesting. I'm telling you, when she told me about that, I was like, wow.
I was like, what? Laughter yoga? It's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
Energy healing and grief Reiki, sound healing, cannabis health and wellness coach.
All right, all right.
Level 1 initiation into the elements, psychedelic integration specialist. And we will we'll bring her on and we'll make sure that you guys have her website. But the sister is full of knowledge. And I do want to also say she was very integral in my mom's transitioning process. One day we're going to speak about it. We're going to do an actual video on grief on the continent and how we handled it. But she was very, very, very important in that process in my mom's transition. So everybody, please let's welcome Dr. Kenisha to the platform.
Yay.
Hey, hi everyone.
We need to eat as well. Dr. Kenisha, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Oh, hold on, let me turn it up.
I can hear you. Well, you just went on mute. I can't hear you now. You're on mute.
Oh, okay, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Thank you so much for coming on the channel. This is our first time having multiple guests, so you see we don't know what the heck we're doing.
We're doing pretty good considering.
We think so. But if you can just give us a brief history of, no, I didn't even get to say it. Sister Kenisha has been to 6 African countries. 6 African countries. You've been to, I said I was going to read it because it was too much for me.
But let her tell us. She'll tell us.
Yeah, you
all
can tell
about
us where you've been, you know, just tell us, just give us some information.
Okay, well, the 6 African countries, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Ghana, Rwanda, Tanzania, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Rwanda, Tanzania, Ghana, Egypt. So those are the 6 African countries and counting. So Kenya will be 7 when I get there. I'm not done yet. But travel for me is a part of my healing process. That's kind of how I got into it. That's how I healed. That's what I used to heal when my son was murdered. So I've been traveling ever since. And then now that I have my grandson, my son's son with me, it's more important that I travel and give him those experiences. So outside of being a professor and doing my energy healing work and integrative health and wellness, a lot of things came about after the journey of my son transitioning. That's how I got into all of the energy work, the grief work, and things of that nature. So it's interesting with life. You can choose to sit in a state of depression, or you can choose to greet your grief and get an understanding of how and what she is teaching you, and then make the best of that. So that's what I've chosen to do. And I'm doing that through travel. So right now we are focused on the continent of Africa, and then we'll see what's next. Let me see what's happening here.
Thank you. Do you mind sharing, because so much of who you are today is from that experience you had in the US with your child, your son. So do you mind sharing a little bit of that? Because a lot of our subscribers don't realize why we leave, why we want to come here, what are we getting away from, or, you know, what is our journey? So I think a lot of that is a part of who you are today. Do you mind sharing that?
Sure. So the interesting thing about that was I was already traveling when my son was murdered. I was living in Doha, Qatar, and I was helping someone. I had gotten hired there to help someone build a school. My background is special education, so I was building a private educational center for special needs when that happened. Then, and it's interesting that it's interesting and unfortunate at the same time, that the first thing people asked me about my son was, or the first thing they asked me about my son is, did he get killed by the police? And he did not get killed by the police. He did get stabbed, but it wasn't by the police. And he was in the military, but he also did music and things of that nature. So he was out passing out flyers. He was with another military family, and they got into an altercation and he got stabbed. So that's why it's very, very, very important to me to give my grandson, I have 3 grandchildren, I'm 47, and it's very important to me to give my grandson, now that I have custody of him, just a different way of life. And so I chose to world school him because I wanted him to be able to have more empathy, more compassion, and I didn't want him to have to grow up super fast. So what I noticed just as being a single parent, and this is another thing too, being a single parent in the United States, I'm a single parent of 2, feels like you are a single parent. Like it really feels like it's not the easiest thing. But when I'm here on the continent, or not even just the continent, but just in the places that I've traveled where I've stayed longer periods of time, I find that the life is softer and I have more support. It's not as hard to bring the village of people together. Your relationships are not taken for granted because being an expat in a new country, you have to be able to depend on one another. So you don't take those friendships and those connections for granted because you all really need each other in order to be able to navigate in a foreign land. So with my grandson, we do mirror work, and every morning he wakes up and he says, I love my life. I love my life. And that is so important for me because that is the experience that I want to give him, considering with him being 6 and really coming into this world with a lot of trauma and grief. So being able to travel, being able to explore, being able to have options, being able to be able to build relationships, being able to understand and become more aware of the cultural differences and embracing those cultural differences. That's why I left. Now, I do miss my daughter. I do miss my other 2 grandkids. And I often ask other grandparents that I have met here, like, what is that? How is that experience of being away from your family for so long? I'm the oldest of 4, and my siblings are extremely close. One of them, she will come and visit me wherever I am with my niece and nephew. But as far as my grandkids, I grew up with my grandmother. So like, I have to have that physical relationship. So I will go home and visit them until they're able to come and visit me. But outside of that, I don't have any intentions of moving back to the US unless I absolutely have to. I don't have any, and I'm not a person that's like, oh, I hate the US or anything. I don't have that mindset. That's not who I am as a person, especially if you become more spiritually aware and you become more aware of like who you truly are. There's no room for hate in my life. So I can't say that, but I can say I have a better quality of life outside of the US, and I'm privileged to be able to have those options, and I understand and recognize that privilege, which is why I'm very mindful. And I agree with Mr. Collins about when you come to another country, I'm very mindful of understanding that I am a visitor. This is not my house. And so when I'm in another country, I'm very mindful about how I relate and build relationships and gain knowledge and awareness about people in their home. So it's important not to have that individual attitude when you're traveling anywhere. It's just not good to have that. And so what I find here in Rwanda and other places that I visit that the village concept, with what is like, I wouldn't have been able to do half the stuff that I've done without the village concept. And that's the thing that I appreciate most about being here.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your story. We definitely want to delve more into that, but we're going to bring in our next guest that's in the backstage real quick, and then we'll be able to let our guests ask questions from everybody and talk more about our experiences.
Absolutely. All right.
So our next guest, you want to bring him on?
No, you got it.
Okay. Where we at? Ruben Gerard. We met Ruben in Rwanda. Ironically, he did come from Atlanta, so did Dr. Kenisha. Came through Atlanta, but he's actually from Portland, Oregon. We didn't know there was Black folks there, and we're learning we're wrong. But Brother Ruben has been to 2 African countries. Rwanda was first, and now Kenya. He's 51, and he is pretty much of a genius.
He is a genius
in the graphic design, web design, and app development.
Listen, that is not even scratching the surface. This brother, he'll tell you himself, but this brother has talent out the wazoo. We met this brother I think you had already mentioned, in Rwanda.
Mm-hmm.
He had come, him and his beautiful mother and his lovely sister. They had come in instant connection. For me, so here's the thing. It's 5 of us, right, in this house. And though it was 6, right? And I'm the only testosterone, I'll put it like that. It's a whole lot of estrogen around. And I'm like, between my brother Will, God bless you, Will, if you're watching, and then later on, brother Keenan, Pastor Keenan, reclaiming our identity. Well, my brother here, and of course, Mr. Colin, we hit very first time we got here. He came to the house and everything. Well, my brother here, brother Gerard, brother Ruben, man, we hit it off, man. And he has such a light spirit. You know, he loves Black people. He loves being in Africa. And he came at a time, the reason why I'm singling him out is he came at a time where I was ready to give up the ghost. I got to be honest with you. And he gave me a resurge of he had this energy and this life. And then he had, as we were saying earlier on, coming to the continent, we're not coming, you know, just to kick back and lay, no, ideas and expertise and full of expression. And he embodied all of that. And he has so many ideas, I couldn't keep up with them, but it was so refreshing.
But he also, when he came though, him and his family, his mom and his sister, they never been to the continent, right? I know they watched our channel. I guess they followed a lot of other YouTubers, but they never been to the continent. And they were like, listen, we just gonna go for it. Brought everything with them that they had. And they stayed at the Airbnb and they just gave it their all. So Brother Ruben, yeah, with the water ice, Natasha.
Let me put that up there.
He was trying to bring us some water ice to the continent. We was excited about it. Rhonda was like, "We these. I don't know." But
we loved it.
We loved it.
Like, bring it.
So but Ruben's family, like, you know, he spent, did he spend a month in Rwanda? I don't even know if he spent a couple.
I think it was about a month. He'll tell us. Anyway.
And they came over to Nairobi, but his mom and sister stayed in Rwanda for a little bit. They're back in the States, but he's still making it happen over here in Kenya. So let's bring on Brother Ruben.
Adding to the stage. All right. All right.
What's good? What's good,
Brother
family?
Ruben, can you hear us?
Yes,
we can't hear you. Make sure.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
There we go.
All right.
It's a little delay.
Brother Ruben, give us a brief synopsis of your journey, how you got to the continent and just what you're doing.
Oh man! First of all, let me just say this for the people. People have to understand that Brother Lamont and Sister Adelia is impossible for me to ever escape their presence, their energy, their existence on the planet. Because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't even be in Africa. So it's hard for me to even. I told Lamont this. It's hard for me to even imagine having no contact with these people while I'm in this continent, I'm not never leaving this place, but it's hard to have no contact with these two because they're the reason I'm here. And in the sense that I came through them, my introduction was through their beings. So I was like, it's impossible to leave contact. I told them that a while ago. I cannot not have contact with you guys. It feels weird not to live in Africa and never connect with these people on a regular basis. So that was something I got to make sure that's clear. Like, it's impossible to have no connection to you guys as long as I'm alive, as far as I'm concerned. So So that's just important to put out there, because of one of you guys, man, I'm so grateful for you two, because I was very inspired by your channel, and then just coming, like Lamont said, me and Lamont hit off instantly, like grits, instantly. And I do miss grits. I miss some grits bad. But man, when I got here to Africa, man, it was beautiful. Of course, my sister was here. I came, I think you guys know this. I came and I didn't even get a round trip ticket. Didn't want one, didn't need one, wasn't trying to come back to America. So I just got a one way, and I got here, and I already had a lot of ideas, you know, lined up, ready. Ooh, I'm gonna do this. Of course, y'all know I brought my snow cone machines and the ice cone machines and with me, and we was at you guys' location about maybe not even a week into the country, and we was already up and running at the restaurant you guys had. So that's how serious it was for me. I was ready to hit the ground running, and we did because of you guys as well. So, you know, coming here and just realizing, you know, it was really time for change for me. You know, I remember talking to my son before I left America, and he was not happy with me leaving, but I had to get him to understand that, you know, Daddy needs a new challenge, a new venture. I've been in obviously America all my life. So, but it was like I was burnt out of America. I was burnt out of the workload and trying to get ahead and just all that. So I just needed something new. And, you know, obviously Africa was the only option I had in my mind. I couldn't imagine no other place to go. So, you know, I came here with all the excitement, like Brother Lamont said, and I was just ready to just do whatever I can do. I'm pretty talented. I got a lot of gifts and talents and things I want to do in life. And I just felt like, okay, I'm going to Africa to do everything I couldn't do in America. That's pretty much my attitude. So I came here and I began, you know, the journey. And so, of course, the journey came with some challenges. That's a reality that you got to get, a reality check, I should say. And but it was good challenges. It was an adjustment. Obviously, we all have to make coming from America. And so me and Lamont talked a lot about that, a lot daily about the challenges. But you know, we get through them and we work through them and we grow, you know, and we learn from the different things that we have to learn so we can be better and get ahead. So, and I was able to do that, man. My year anniversary, I call it my African anniversary, was this past Wednesday, the 11th. And I've been here for a year. I got to Rwanda October 11th of last year, and this is my whole year being in Africa, which I know, unfortunately, a lot of people can't make it that long here because it is a lot of adjustments and challenges we have to make. So, and I had some, but it just wasn't enough for me to go back home. I just didn't feel, I really didn't care how hard it got. I just didn't want to go back. I said, I'm not letting anything, you know, get me out of here. I love being in this place. I feel great about being in this place. I love Mombasa, where I live. I don't plan ever leaving. So it was just one of those things where it's like, it was time for a change, time for some new energy and new ideas and just new surroundings. And it's the perfect place, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's pretty much was my initial process.
You have a question?
That's awesome, brother. Listen, man, it's very humbling to hear. You shared it with me, and each time, you know, when you say that, man, it's very humbling. You know, we you know, we have the channel. We like to, you know, have fun, of course, and you know, have a level of excitement, being able to share of our experience, not having the thought in mind of what type of or level of impact that it could possibly have. Of course, you know, we want it to be good. And when we hear that, man, it really humbles us for sure. Yeah. So thank you very much, all of you. Thank you very much. And so, you know, brother, I think it's very important to make acknowledgement, and I would hope that you can share. You know, we've been referring to you as you were introduced to us by yourself, of course, as you did Gerard and Ruben. But clearly, if people look and they see your screen, they see another name, Brother Halilyajuu. And it's important when you shared it, brother, the other day, when you shared with me that that's your name and how you came about that. You didn't know it, of course, naturally, but I was pretty emotional about it. And for those of our African brothers and sisters, you know, one of the many horrific things that occurred to us as diasporas when we were removed from the continent was they took our names from us.
Absolutely.
They took our names, and coming back on the continent, I'm learning how insignificant the names are that you all hold. You know, you have a particular name and you can trace that, you know, of your ancestors, immediate ancestors. And that was taken from us. And when you told me, brother, that the community gave you a name, man, I got emotional. Yes, because that means a lot, man. That has volumes. So if you could, real quickly, man, just share with us that experience, please.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you know, like you said, born Ruben Gerard Warren is my American government name or what have you. And so, you know, I had a thought of name change before I left, but you know, it's just something that you think about doing because you go into Africa, you want a fresh start. That was kind of the thought process. But you know, I still came obviously with my name, and of course that's how you guys met me as well. But when I got to Mombasa, I began to kind of get acclimated into the community a little bit, and you know, others are knowing me as somebody that does music and you know, and does, you know, the web stuff and the apps and all that, those type of things. So I began to be a little bit of a, not really popular, but just, you know, I was obviously being a foreigner and American, I kind of stand out. It's just kind of what it is. But the people that I was circled around by my friends here, my Kenyan friends, brothers and sisters, I was around them, and they was all like, you know, you need a name change, man. You need an African name, a Kenyan name. And I said, okay, well, it was funny because I said, well, you guys all got American names. What are you talking about? So he said, well, you got an American name, but you don't have an African name or a Kenyan name. So I said, okay, well, that's cool. So they was asking me questions about things like, you know, what's my vision in life and where I want to go and who are you and those things. And that began to help them spur a thought of the kind of name that would be appropriate and associated to my energy, you know, my existence and my passions and stuff like that. And so, you know, they even told me to, you know, go find a name and see if you can find something that you like, and then we'll help you, you know, identify what it is and apply it and all that. So I found that the name Halil. Well, let me back up. The thought of what I wanted to express myself as here in a new world that I'm living in Kenya, or just Africa itself, was I wanted to be somebody. I want to be on another level. I wanted to move and function on a higher plane, spiritually, psychologically, mentally, emotionally, financially. And so I just wanted to be a move in a different vibration here. And so that was something that was important to me. And so I remember telling my buddy, Brian's a friend of mine here, a Kenyan brother of mine, and then we was talking, and I was telling him, I said, man, I just want to be on another level here. I don't want to be the same I was in America. I want to be on another level. And so, you know, we was looking at stuff and names and stuff. And so Halilyajuu Kuwa is the full name that I was given. Halilyajuu Kuwa, which means advanced state of being. So, man, when I got that, that knocked me off my feet. I was like, okay, hold on. That's exactly what I want to be. I want to be at an advanced state of being now that I'm here in Kenya or Africa. I was like, I want to be on another level. So Halilyajuu Kuwa means advanced state of being. And I didn't hesitate at all to accept that, you know, and appreciate that, and you know, deem myself that in my community of my family and friends here. And you know, they all laugh because it sounds so good to say to them, you know, Halilyajuu, you know. So it's just kind of one of them things that's ringing. But here's a funny thing: I'm still not used to it. They know me as Gerard when I first came. So when they call me Halil, I'm not responding. I'm just saying nothing. They're saying Halil. I'm like, who y'all yelling at? Who you talking to? And so they're telling me, it's you. We're calling you. I said, oh yeah, that's right. You changed my name. I was like, okay, my fault. Okay, let me remind myself who I am. So I had to get used to them calling me my new name because I'm used to hearing Gerard, you know. So I'm getting used to it now. And actually, the other day was my first time introducing myself to somebody here as Halil, and it was very strange because she asked, "What's your name?" I said, "Halil." That's my name, Halil. You know, and so it was just kind of refreshing to kind of have this new fresh start of a name change, like you said. You know, it's our identity. That's who I am now, and so I welcome. And I get the people still know me. You know, my home know me as Ruben Gerard, but here, which is my new home, it's Halilyajuu, and that's where I'm moving with. So I love it. I love it with everything in me, man. I love it. So
yes, sir.
That's good. That's great. That's
So
great.
we're gonna call you Halil. Can we say Halil, or do we have to say the whole thing?
No, Halil is fine. Halil is fine. It's gonna be strange hearing that from you two, though. I got to get used to you guys saying it. I got to get used to hearing you guys say it. But yeah, that's good. Halil is fine. Or if you happen to say Gerard, that's cool. I'm gonna respond to both of them at this point.
Yes, sir. Okay. So, yes. So we want to, so we have Brother Colin on he's in Musanze in Rwanda. We have Dr. Kenisha, who is in Kigali right now. And we have Brother Halil, who is in Mombasa, Kenya right now. Doesn't look like we're going to get Tony Africa right now, or Brother Lionel from the UK. We just had too many weird stuff going on with the times and the Wi-Fi. So this is our panel today. This is what we're talking about, is Black diasporans living and loving being in Africa, being on the continent. We do want to keep it balanced, though. We do know it's very exciting. We love it. But what our people also want to know is the challenges that you may have. Any type of challenge where we're trying to figure it out so that we can help the next guy. So I wanted to go around and ask, particularly Colin, if you wanted to discuss any challenges you might have had, or maybe the situation you might have had in Musanze, if you want to share that with us or not. I forgot to text you and ask you if that was appropriate, but you can let us know if you want to share that or not, or just any challenge in general.
I'd like to say hello to Kenisha. I did not know she was back in Rwanda. Kenisha was in Musanze for a while, and we were friends. And I lost touch with her when she went back to the States. I did not know you were back here. I'm surprised. I just found out when they introduced you. So hello, Kenisha. Yeah. Speaking about, I'd like to continue on what I did to integrate myself into the society here. And the things that I did were so simple because, like I said, I grew up in a village. All right, and the things that I did were simple. Let me give an example of what happened here. At my house where I live, Kenisha knows where I live. People up and down the street here asked me for water, and I was surprised. They saw that I had my hose out front and watering my lawn, and I thought everybody had water because we all houses up and down the street. But I didn't ask them why they didn't have water. So I said, "Come on in." I pulled my hose out front and I fill up yellow buckets, bucket after bucket after bucket of water. And after that, everybody's smiling with me. Everybody's telling me different things about the community now and so forth, as best as they could. It's just very simple things like that you actually do. But more than that, right? I do umaganda sometimes, which is a cleanup on Saturday mornings. I do that from time to time. I heard this brother from Chicago who you guys had on, who was a very intelligent guy, and he was here in Rwanda, and he was on for about an hour and a half, and I never heard that man said once that he did umaganda. I would like to ask him, brother, and I believe you're listening. Have you been to a reconciliation village? Have you heard about Rwanda's talk about the plight of what happened after the genocide in 1994, right? Have you identified with any of that? Have you seen how victims and perpetrators forgive each other and how they're working together now and how the children are getting married? Have you had that experience here? If you have those kind of experiences, you will develop a spiritual connection for this part of our motherland. All I heard that man said, and I'm going to be critical of him here, all I heard that man said is what he tried to do with some individual here who he met for about 5 minutes. He was acting completely out of the framework of a network. He was acting as an individual. Well, those are the undesirable things happen to you when you go to a group-oriented society and start behaving from an individual level. So that's what I have to say about that. Sometimes you have to do things that are seemingly like I do little things that people don't do. I do little things that people don't do. For instance, I was in a restaurant not too long ago, and it was a new restaurant, and the lady served me a salad, and it was stale. And I told her, I said, I couldn't eat this. She said, what's wrong? I said, it's flat. You cannot give me a flat or a stale salad. She didn't know what stale was, so I went to Google, and after a little while, I explained to her what stale was. Then they brought me a fresh salad. And she said, it's difficult to keep lettuce and so forth here fresh all the time. There's an extra cost in that. I said, fine. You could charge me more if you like. It's the cost of doing business. But what you can't do is to give me stale food. That is not acceptable. And she thought about it for a moment, and she learned from that. And we had a nice little chat afterwards. So there's always a give and take because of this, of what you do here. I just didn't complain about the lady's salad and get up and walk out, and that kind of thing. I heard another African-American couple. You see, our people react in a certain way. She and her husband came to Rwanda. They were in Kigali. They were staying at the Airbnb. And somehow something was wrong with the food or the utensils. And they decided to leave Rwanda because of that. Well, there are all kinds of Airbnbs in Kigali. There are first-class Airbnbs in Kigali. I have friends who have Airbnbs in Kigali. Now, do you leave a country because you didn't like the Airbnb you're in? I mean, come on. No, these kind of people will be jumping from one country to another, trying to find themselves without looking inward. Do you guys understand what I'm saying to you? This is Africa. We are not in America, right? And we don't have all of these formalized standards to act.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
It's correct.
So I think. So absolutely, hear you loud and clear. And this is the beauty of it all, is that it gives the opportunity for all of us to be able to share our experience and how it affects us one way or the other. But the beautiful part about it that we're learning is that I think last week in our talk, we may have mentioned it, coming to the continent, it puts you in touch with yourself. And I think ultimately that's the purpose. For most of us across the diaspora, we've been away from our original self for so long, we lose sight, or we've lost sight, or we no longer have the sight. And coming back, even with whatever all of our imaginings were and are, however we may have romanced the idea of Africa from whatever knowledge that we think we have or that we do have, the limitations thereof, once we actually get here, that's the reality. And many of us are not equipped or prepared for some of these particular things and don't necessarily know how to react or respond. I believe this is why we are so important. It's important for us to give the report, to give the balance of both sides, the pros and the cons, and to, as much as possible, give a semblance of okay, reality. Okay, all right, and I know what you're thinking. But when you get here, it may not be what you're thinking. And I think it would take a lot of the spookism out of it, So some of us are more, as brother was talking about, according to his name, some of us are more advanced in our understanding, more advanced in our life, to be able to know, okay, well, that's just this, that's just that. But some of us are not that advanced. And so we don't know how to deal with things that are outside of what our comfort is. And we react and respond. So, yes, hear you loud and clear, Brother Colin.
But if I can interject, I also think that's a purpose on why the diaspora or the expats in that country, or whatever country they're in, have to network. Because for you, Brother Colin, those are small issues that the previous people have talked about. But for them, it was make it or break it. And it wasn't that they were final issues. They weren't the only issues, but how to adapt when you're totally frustrated. Like you explained about the salad being wilted. For some, like when I first came to the continent, I first came to Rwanda, I kept getting bad salads. I kept getting salads that were bald with no salad dressings. And it was blowing my mind. It was making me so frustrated. Like, where the heck I need salad dressing? And not that it was bald, there was no lettuce in my salads. So I was confused. Like, what kind of salad is this? Onions and tomatoes. I need real salad. So what I did, of course, was create my salads and make my own salad dressing. But for someone that doesn't have that type of knowledge, it's frustrating that you can't go to a restaurant and get a real salad. And it is heartbreaking that you only can have mayonnaise and vinegar. So it's what takes that person over. But if we had a network where we can reach out and talk to someone like, how do you get through this? What did you do? It might have made it a little soft landing for them. It might have made it a little easier. But trust me, small things, you're retired, so you're just like Hakuna Matata all day, whatever, keep going, move out of my face. But people that's sitting there trying to make a living and trying to figure out how they're going to raise their family in this foreign country, everything is like, it's major, it's stressful. And it's funny because you'll see the different levels of, for the retirees, please, life is beautiful. But for those trying to make those little coins and they got children and they got to take care of this and that and they don't have stuff, that make you go crazy. It'll make you go crazy.
Brother Colin,
I'll say one other thing, quick thing, and I'll give everybody else a chance. You guys had some friends here. You even had them on the show. And I heard was a couple. They're back in Atlanta now. I heard the guy's wife said, she said, oh, I wanted this kitchen utensil and got kitchen utensil. I thought I was going to get them here. So I gave mine away to my mother-in-law before I left. And she said, oh my God, I found out 2 weeks, or I think she said 2 weeks before I left Rwanda, is that there's a place in Rwanda where I could go, where I could buy all of those things. Well, if this lady was in a network, if she was in a proper network, she'd have known that the week after she was here, or the second week after she was here. That information, she had no source of information. She was dependent on herself and her husband. These are individualistic people living in a group society. That does not work. It doesn't work. So the place where they had the utensils was 1 block from the 2000 store, which everybody goes to. And she'd been to that store many times, right? So she never got the information to act on because she was not in a network.
Exactly. And network will just make things easier. But it feels like sometimes when we come to the continent, we try to do everything on our own, or it's competition. You know what I mean? Everyone's trying to figure out how they're going to make money. So the next expat is competition. And retirees don't have to go through that. So your experience is a lot different than those that are trying to figure it out and make magic happen. Dr. Kenisha, would you agree? You're trying to you've tried to.
Brother Colin's trying to say something.
Yeah, before you go, I want to play a compliment to her. When she was up here, I saw her do phenomenal work with some women up here. Kenisha does phenomenal work. I don't know why you didn't contact me when you came back here. I still don't know why, but we're going to talk about that in private. I still have the same number, okay? I live in the same house and I have the same number. I'm homestead. I'm not going anyplace. This is my home now. I bought my burial ground plot already. Yeah. Okay, so give me a call, okay? Or text me or something.
So you have a question for Dr. Kenisha?
Yes, Dr. Kenisha, can you share your experience on just trying to get yourself situated with your business and so forth in Rwanda?
So when this is not my first time in Rwanda or visiting Rwanda, but the very, very first time that I came, it wasn't even planned actually. It was just I was in Ghana, and it was like, where to next? And I was like, oh, what is this place? And so my mom and I, we just hopped over to check it out. And I ended up liking it. But because I'm a very introverted type person, I was fine. I lived out there in Musanze. I moved in Musanze, and I was in this big home all by myself, but I was loving it because I had grass for grounding. I had views of the volcano. Musanze is very beautiful, but it gets cold out there. So if you do not have a fireplace like Mr. Colin, then I'm not a cold weather person. So it was too cold, so to the point that I got sick. And so, but like he said, the adaptation, you have to be you have to have the divine expression of flexibility when you're traveling and when you are moving around the world and trying to navigate in spaces and places that are different from your own. And so I find that adaptability, I'm fine. I find that even though I may not have had some of the foods that I miss from home, I have access to healthier foods. So people always ask, how am I keeping the weight off? It's the food. It's the food. I don't have to worry about the pesticides. I don't have to worry about not having things straight from the ground, like as far as the lifestyle. And then the lifestyle is a lot easier. It's a lot more like slow pace. So I always tell people, for Rwanda, to me, it kind of lulls you to sleep. So because of that, I found that like when I'm trying to get things done as it relates to business, or when I'm trying to get things done as it relates to things that have a sense of urgency, we come from a Western society where timeliness is important, accessibility is important, having a sense of urgency is important. Fortunately, I've traveled in enough places where it's like, okay, let me calm that down, unless it's just something that I really, really need. But with the type of business that I have, when I first came, I was doing work in Musanze. I was doing laughter yoga with a group of women, and we were having some coaching sessions with them. We were having a really good time out there. And to be honest, I find that the work that I do is well received outside of the U.S. It's like it's a struggle in the U.S. just to get people to laugh. I'm like, it's just laugh, breathe and laugh. That's all laughter yoga is. But here, when I was doing it, it was like people were quick to want to do that, to do something, to try that. But then the other side of my business, as it relates to energy healing, mindfulness eating, things of that nature, that was a bit of a challenge. So I didn't end up doing the business here because it's just what I do it would take education, and it's fairly new here. It's not really new because what I do stems from African spirituality, but because of the religious practices, some kind of way, what we do and who we are authentically got suppressed. So what I do doesn't necessarily work, but it has worked from a perspective of connecting with nature. It has worked from the perspective of if you need a place to come for healing. So the second time I came back, when I had to leave Musanze, I had to leave for an emergency. And you all were right there watching, like with me the whole way. So, and Mr. Colin, I had to go back home for an emergency. And as soon as we got and it took a year, but as soon as I got all of that, or a little over a year, I got back here. And the reason I came back to Rwanda first is because it was familiar, and it still was what I feel like a place of healing from an energetic space. When you're the nature is beautiful here. But when you talk about my line of work, which is grief, a lot of the emotions, a lot of the things, I've met with the CEO of the Kigali Genocide Museum, and we talked about that, even like looking at their blueprint of what they teach there. And it's like the grief is suppressed. And so when the grief is suppressed, the way people interact with you, or the way you just have to be very mindful when you are communicating, when you're beginning to get frustrated because you can't get things as soon as you need to get them, or you don't see emotional intelligence, or you don't see people managing their emotions properly, or when you're working with the culture and you hear the whispering, and we're used to like, enunciate your words. I can't hear you. Speak up. What's the problem? You know, you just have to be, I find that that's been the challenge for me, just like adjusting to lack of accessibility, adjusting to how to navigate the culture when a lot of their emotions are suppressed, adjusting to, it's not a buzzing energy. And so because it's not a buzzing energy, it makes your get up and go a little bit harder. It's kind of feels sluggish, like, oh, like you're on this permanent vacation. So when you're like myself and you're trying to get a business going, you can't just be on a permanent energetic vacation. You got to have some wickedness. And what I find is that wickedness is not. So it takes a lot of work. But as far as like not finding, it is important to have that network. It is important to be tapped in. A lot aren't accessible here. So when that happens, you're just creative. And so to me, I just feel like the challenges that you face really is more of a testament about who you are as a person. It's not about the country itself. Yes, nothing's perfect, but it's still about how you rise to the occasion. So that's kind of my approach but that will be my approach to things, because that's the work that's the work that I do. But outside of that, like the other biggest thing is what you already mentioned, getting overcharged for things because you're not from the country. That's a thing that I'm trying to work with, because it's not about integrity. And integrity is big for me. So if you're trying to scam me or trying to get over, or if I know I go to a transportation, that's another, it's extremely expensive here. So, but if I know I'm going to a place and I know how much it costs, because I'm frequent this place all the time, you roll up trying to charge me double, I have to do the stop us, because it's like I understand they're trying to make money, but I equate that to lack of integrity. And I'm in business with you when you don't have integrity. So that's a conflict. And I don't know how we're gonna work with that, but that seems like that we all have and that we've all experienced. So I guess the thing is either just adapt or I just don't do business. I'm quick to do that. I'm quick to be like, I'll just get out and talk. So I'm quick to be like, no, thank you. Oh yeah, but to me, that's the biggest thing, is being overcharged, because we're not walking back. We're here trying to navigate life just like everybody else. And so that part right there is like, integrity is big that's a big thing for me. So you may look at it as I'm just trying to hustle, pay my bills, put food on the table. And I'm looking at it as you have no integrity. And I know that it's a conflict as far as cultural perspective, but that thing right there, it just do something to me. I can adapt to everything else, but that right there, it's like, oh, I'm working on myself.
So, I'm gonna tell you, Dr. Kenisha, when you and I were able to sit and communicate once upon a time when we were in Rwanda, I think when you had not first arrived, but around the time when you first arrived, and you were sharing with me I may say it incorrectly, the laughter healing. I'm gonna put it like that. The laughter healing. I was like, what? I said, wow, that's interesting. But you made me to really to realize that laughter is contagious. And I said, wow, that's true. Laughter gets good. All right, put it like, so you think about it, right? If you're watching a TV show, these are for those of us pretty much from the States, you're watching a TV show and we don't realize it, but they inject these laugh tracks. And the stuff may not even really be funny, but because you're hearing people laughing, it makes you kind of like laugh or chuckle or whatever, so forth and so on. I'm like, man, it made me think about that. I said, wow, this is really interesting. And so fast forward, I had seen a video you posted where I believe you were in one of the villages and you did a session. And I watched it and I was like, I literally start cracking up laughing because I'm watching people crack up laughing.
Yes.
It was like, it was crazy, but it was, I could watch and I could see how it really was effective. They were really, it was sincere. It wasn't fake laugh. It was a really sincere laughter. And you can see, even by watching the video, the positive effects taking place. I'm like, well, this is amazing. So I wanted to just ask if you would maybe share of that particular, I'm sure you've had many, but that
Yes.
particular experience, and what was the ultimate outcome of that?
It was beautiful. It was probably a video Colin recorded for me, because he was there, but he was at some of my sessions. But somebody was working at the Red Rock. It's called the Red Rock Village, I believe that's what it's called, in Musanze. And they just happened to be, and just like you all, like if you meet me and you talk to me, you know what I do. If you don't meet me and don't talk to me, you never know what I do. And so somebody just happened to be talking to me and said, I have a group of women and this is what they do. I would love for you to come and talk to them. So that's kind of how I started doing the laughter yoga sessions in Musanze at the Red Rock Village. And so when you do laughter, when you incorporate laughter yoga, people assume that yoga is all about movement and flexibility. And yoga is really just about the connection to self, connection to breath, connection to your higher being. And so when you laugh, it brings on your happy chemicals, like your endorphins. It exercises the same muscles as your ab muscles. It exercises your ab muscles. So like if you were to walk or if you were to run, when you do laughter yoga, you're getting that same exercise. For us, that's in the Western society, this is the thing that I noticed. Remember the Alabama Brawl? That's what they call it. I don't know what title we ultimately came up with, but the Alabama Brawl. If you notice in the world, like this worldwide, when I'm looking at my timeline, it was so much laughter, but people weren't connecting to the fact that the laughter was healing, like your body literally feels better. So you can't laugh and worry, or laugh and be depressed, or laugh and cross in sadness at the same time. Like chemically and in your brain, those two things can't live in the same space. So when you're feeling a lower vibrational energy, such as anxiety, depression, I always say you can breathe in and then exhale laughter. So in the video, you probably heard me say, breathe in love and then exhale laughter. And so I'll do it for you. You all can do it too. Just you can be laying down or you can be sitting up, and I'll do just a little bit of laughter for you. It's very simple. So you're going to breathe in love. And remember, when you breathe in, your stomach goes out. When you exhale, your stomach contracts. And a lot of times you're not even breathing. It's like shallow, or you're not breathing properly. So we'll do one little session. So you're going to breathe in love. So inhale. Exhale, your stomach contracts. And you're going to exhale laugh. So it don't take much. And that was a genuine laugh. And I didn't need any reason to laugh, but besides the fact that I just want to feel better. And it's contagious. So as I was laughing, I saw Colin smile. I saw Mr. Muhammad smile and giggle. So it's like, it's very contagious, but it's about—
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
it's the chemicals in your body.
Yeah.
You're raising that vibrational energy so that you kind of shift out of the pain that you're feeling, or the mental anguish, or the anxiety, or the depression that you're feeling. It's joy. It's your joy muscle, but we tend to focus so much on the negativity that's happening that we don't properly exercise our joy muscle. And then when we're asked to exercise our joy muscle or to laugh, because you're so grown, you can't even tap into your childlike essence just to heal. I look too silly laughing. Okay, well then you sit over there and be anxious and depressed because I'm gonna laugh. I want to feel better. So I did I did laughter yoga because I got certified and got into laughter yoga after my son was murdered, because I just refused to be stuck in grief on that level. And that was just one of the things that helped me, was just laughter. And I enjoy laughter. So even in the mornings when I first wake up, I'm laughing. And when I go to sleep at night, I'm laughing, because I'm trying to redesign my genetic makeup as it relates to that. Heal the cells that are within my body. And you can't really do that if you're constantly focusing on the negativities around you. And we've kind of been programmed to do that. So you just have to, the laughter, I use the laughter as a form of reprogramming. And when I was working with those ladies in Musanze, they loved it. Like, they look forward to it every week. So we would do some exercises, some mindfulness exercises, and we will always end it with a laughter yoga session. So we would do some exercises.
So is one of the reasons why you chose Rwanda because you felt that you can help with the healing process and help some of the women but deal with grief in a different manner? Was that one of your reasons why you chose the country?
The funny thing is, I didn't choose the country. The country chose me. I didn't know anything about. I didn't really have a plan to come to Rwanda. It was just time to leave Ghana. Ghana just wasn't the place. I enjoyed Ghana, but it wasn't the place for me as it relates to, I just want to be here for a long period of time. So it was just the next easiest country to get to as far as visa, anything like that. So then when I got here and learned more about the country, I'm like, oh, wow, I'm in a country that's dealing with nothing but grief, and that's my line of work. Now, infiltrating that's difficult. So I'm still not clear exactly how I would infiltrate their system, just due to how they respond to trauma culturally. So what I find is that even the energy healing sessions that I've done here, I have worked on a couple of local individuals, people who are actually running. And even with that, educating and I remember the one lady was like, okay, is this voodoo? And I'm like, no, it's not voodoo. Like, literally, you are energy. The avatar is just temporary. Ultimately, you are energy, and that energy has to be balanced. It has to be unblocked. It has to move and flow through you properly. So, but to them, that looks like I don't know, like I can only use the term, she said, voodoo work or something. Like, it looks scary to them. So helping them and then things that they can't really, or they're not necessarily comfortable with. So they're taught to, especially the women that I've spoken to, they're taught to suppress their voices. They're taught to not speak about things. They're taught to get along, just keep it moving. And you can't really, it's not healthy to have that level of trauma just stuck in your body like that, because it's the trauma that creates or manifests true illnesses. If you think about breast cancer, if you're not clearing your heart space and you're not dealing with the trauma that hits your heart space, that's a lot of times where the cancer initially starts. So most people look at illnesses and diseases from the outside in, but really the illness starts from the inside and then it pushes out. So that's why it's important to take care. You're thinking that it's just about your physical health, like maybe I need to eat different foods or maybe I need to take more supplements. But it's like most times the seed that created the dis-ease starts from your emotional perspective and how you're dealing with the trauma that you have experienced in life. And if you don't deal with that, that turns into sickness. So that has been, it wasn't why I came to Rwanda. It just kind of what happened and what I saw. But the other thing is what helped me even during my grief journey, because my son was murdered, what helped me the most is the level of forgiveness that they're able to display between another. And that to me helped me in my process with working on forgiveness with the person who murdered my son. So when I was working with that group of ladies, it wasn't just me pointing to them, they were also pointing to me that the level of forgiveness, if you don't learn anything else in Rwanda, you will learn how to forgive. You will learn how to forgive.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff, Dr. Kenisha. Thank you so very much for that. As we were able to see in the comments that it works. People were really laughing and so on and so on. I was myself as well. And I'm gonna tell you, this is a good segue into my brother Halil, because one of the, how can I say, talents that he has, if he wishes to speak to it, would be great, is he's a comedian. And, I mean, it just ties in so perfectly, and I think about, as I'm listening to you, Dr. Kenisha, and I'm reflecting on Brother Halil, as he shared that with me, I just think about, as far as comedians are concerned, a lot of I'm not necessarily saying anyone in particular, but a lot of comedians, they actually get their material from a dark place, things that happen in the world, things that are going on in their lives, and I don't know if they know it or not, if this is intentional, but it's a healing. I'm assuming, to be able to cope and to deal, and for those of us who are listening, we can relate to it, and it makes it easy for us as we laugh at what they're telling jokes about, so forth and so on. So I'd like to be able to bring our brother Halil, let him be able to talk about, because he's, business, a lot of business ideas that he's had and he has, that he's currently doing right now, that he can share with us, that I think that is just absolutely brilliant and genius. And if you would, Brother Halil, please take us and share with us about just your business ideas and what it is that you actually have going on right now. But before you do, I don't know if you saw it, but I got to give a shout out to Mama Joyce. For those that don't know, Mama Joyce is Halil's mom. She just made a comment, and we love you, Mama Joyce. We miss you. We hope to see you back real soon. As you can see, your son, he's on top of the world. He's doing things, and thank you for lending your energy to this live. We appreciate you, Mama Joyce, very much.
Wait, why I told Mama Joyce on you though a couple of weeks ago. I was like, yup, we ain't seen him.
But she don't know. We talk all the time.
I know that. I said seen him with our eyeballs.
So, brother Halil, please share with us. Please share with us your brilliance, brother. Please. Wait, brother Khalil, I don't think we can hear you.
Yeah.
I don't think we can hear you.
No, we can't.
I got you. I forgot to take it off mute. I had to take it off mute.
Check your mute.
There you go.
Oh, there we go. All right, run it back.
You hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Mute that one.
Uh-oh, frozen. Can you hear me now? I assume you can hear me now. I'm gonna talk just so in case you can. I was saying that the sister was on point.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Definitely Okay, yeah, okay. So yeah, the sister was on point because the laughter is definitely contagious. I was even feeling some chuckles in my stomach when she was doing it. So I was definitely feeling something. So yeah, I you know, me being a comedian for over 30 years, man, tragedy was always the comedy. You know, we always talk, you know, you talk about those dark things or those challenging things and make light of it, not to mock it, but to make light of it, to just kind of bring a perspective that just kind of eases the challenge of the tragedy. So it's just one of those things that the art form brings when it comes to comedy. And so my son does it now. He's better than me at his age than I was, and so he's doing comedy now. But it's all the same art form. You take that horrible situation and you find a way to make it funny. Then the best comedians are the ones that can take the worst situations and make it funny, which sometimes is very controversial for people to do, or even the people to handle. But the worst of the situation, and you can make it funny. Those are the great comedians. Richard Pryor was probably the king of it all because he took everything that was just really not good and made it funny, which is the art form in itself. So, but yeah, so yeah, that laughter is definitely a beautiful thing, and we need to do more of it. So as it pertains to me here, I want to touch something real fast. You guys asked about what was the hardest thing, and Brother Lamont, you know, we talk about this all the time. I think for me, the hardest thing I had to get really figured out, and when I figured it out, it just released me. But the hardest thing for me was, and I'll make this short so we can get to the other questions you guys answered or asked, but was to understand what it means to be free. That right there was literally the most mind-blowing time for me, because I didn't know what it meant to be free until I got here. And when I say free, take it how you want. I'm talking about free from the shackles, free from the spiritual shackles, free from the religious shackles, free from the financial shackles, free from the emotional shackles, free from the relationship shackles, free from the prosperity, the self-empowerment, self-employment, riches, wealth, free in every aspect you can think of. I didn't quite know how to do that until I got here. Obviously, we think we know what we're doing in America. You know, there's a big corporate world we live in there. Everybody's hustling and bustling and running around trying to get you some money. But when I got here, man, freedom was a foreign thing to me, man. I really didn't know what freedom was until I got here. And then when I got here, I had to learn to adjust to being free. It wasn't just like, oh, I'm free. Nah, not even close. Because my habits, the way I formed my thinking, my rationale, and all those different elements, my logic, my perspectives, my beliefs, all that got checked and challenged when I got here, because I didn't understand what it meant to be free. And when I got here, man, and I started realizing, wait a minute, ain't nobody gonna stop me from doing nothing? Nuh-uh. Ain't nobody gonna oppress me? Nuh-uh. Ain't no systematic racism going on around here? Nuh-uh. Nothing. No, I had no more excuses. No more excuses to lack, be slow, be procrastinating. I had no excuses. No excuses to not get ahead, not achieve. I had no excuses to not let my existence count. No excuses. All of it was out the window. And I was actually so bound up in my, being stuck in the way I was raised and living in America. I actually wanted to have some excuses to not get ahead. That's how sick I had realized I was. I actually wanted something to say, no, you can't do it. Just so I can have it to justify my laziness. Just so I can say, you know what? I ain't got to do it because the white man got me. I'm good. Yeah. Oh, no. We got oppression from the history from past in the 60s. Our ancestors went through all that. So I'm supposed to have challenges now. I ain't really supposed to get ahead. I couldn't use that no more. And that was, and Brother Black, I called you on that. When I realized that, I called you on that. I could not believe how free I wasn't until I got here. And then I had to make the adjustment. And it wasn't easy. I literally wanted some reason to not get ahead. I wanted to stay in the bed all day, when really ain't nobody gonna make you stay in the bed. Ain't nobody gonna make you get up. It's on you. The freedom was the biggest. And again, Lamar, I told you about this, but the freedom was the biggest challenge for me. And when I realized that I no longer have no excuse to live my life and make my existence count, I was free. I broke out. And that's when you started seeing me sending you all the work and all the stuff. Go ahead. If you want to say something, I thought you wanted to say something.
Hey, brother, man, I'm sitting here writing this down, brother, because you saying some so profound stuff, brother. I'm gonna quote you. That kind of like sums it up, really, truthfully. I mean, I'm like, dang, that's what it is. We have, it's like we've have learned to adjust, not being, we have adjusted to be, I don't even know how to put it, but you said it, man. It's true. We have to understand what it means to be free, and it's a process, man. I know it's a process, man. That was powerful. I'm gonna have to meditate on those words, brother.
It was powerful, but it was also beautiful.
At the same time, that's what makes it so explosive.
Because your freedom is defined by what is free for you. You know, what are you letting go of? What is it that was holding you back all this time? And you have nobody to put excuses on but yourself. So you're really freeing yourself from a mindset that you had that you no longer have use for. You know, it doesn't serve you anymore. So now you can free yourself to create your own reality by your terms.
Wow, that's so true. Wow. That's deep.
Wow.
Golden handcuffs, yes.
So, brother, now, okay.
Yeah.
You're here. You've been here for a year. Congratulations to you, brother, for your. Listen, it's a milestone for all of us who made it beyond a year. It's a milestone. So congratulations to all of us who made it thus far. But congratulations to you, brother, for making it this, for this year time. And within this year's time, I mean, you hit the ground running. And I know you've been working very diligently on a business piece of which the concept is unlike that anything that I've ever heard of and come across, where it is a benefit to all parties involved. And I don't know if it's premature, if it's too soon for you to be able to enlighten us and share with us of this particular business idea concept that is already ready to rock and roll and go. If you want to share that, please do. And if so, I would like to be able to share also the clip, if that's okay with you.
Okay, yeah.
Did you want to speak to it first, or I can't?
Yeah, well, which one are you going to show? Is it the latest one I sent you?
Yes, the latest one.
Was it? I don't sure which one you're talking about. I'm trying to make sure I remember which one that was. But I think it's what I think it is. I'll speak to it real briefly. One of the things that hit me hard when I got here was just obviously getting acclimated to the continent and of course here in Kenya, seeing the people in the state that they're challenged with. It's not necessarily my challenge. We come from America. We don't have the same challenges necessarily. We can identify with it, but not to the degree they do. And so I was able to watch, and even with my friends that I know here, I was able to really get an understanding as to what they're really going through out here. Not that Kenya is a bad place by no means, but there's challenges in every country, in every world that we all live in. So I learned that I started learning the challenges that I saw with my friends here. And that struck a chord in me. It's got to be something I can do. I can't fix it all, but there's got to be something I can add to the progress. And so it just began to just kind of work on my heart to just try to figure out ways to help. When I walk around, sometimes I see a lot of potholes and a lot of unpaved areas, and to see the kids playing in the dirt. Immediately, I just feel like we need some pavement. We need some streets. We need some parks with some jungle gyms for the kids to play in. So when I started seeing all that, I just said, I gotta be able to do something. It just bothered me, And so I just began to think about, okay, I'm talented. What do I like to do? Music is one of my biggest things I love. I love music. I've been doing it for years. I knew coming to Africa, this is a very musical country, or a continent for that matter. And I said, I'm gonna go ahead and introduce my new music version of Afro beats here, and do my music here with my American twist to it, of course. But I wanted to use my music to help bring solutions here. Use my music to help bring financial empowerment to the people. And so I came up with a concept with my own music, with Halilyajуу's music, how it can benefit the community here. And then I came up with a way for how Americans can help Africa as well as benefit themselves. And so I believe if you're showing the very last one I sent you, I believe that's the one video that we're talking about. But if it's not, it's close. I'll just kind of, respond to it.
Okay. Yeah, I want to show. Yeah, let me show that. Let me, because I think it should be seen. Let me see. Give me a moment here with this technology here.
We're gonna tell them that Tony's on.
Let's see.
Let's dive into Halilyajуу's exciting new track Cashback rewards and fan ambassador program. Everyone can enjoy the music. Simply download his latest song and receive an instant 50 shillings reward. Yes, Halil's music rewards you. Ready for even more rewards? Become a fan ambassador. As a fan ambassador, you'll unlock a world of exclusive benefits with Halilyajуу's music. Become a fan ambassador for only 300 shilling per month, and the best part? You get to enjoy a full 30-day free trial to explore all the fantastic rewards. Also, you must have an active PayPal account to sign up as a fan ambassador. As a fan ambassador, you can now share the love for Halilyajуу's music with your friends and earn 50 shillings for every successful referral to family and friends, as well as the 100 shillings you also receive when you download Halil's music for yourself as a fan ambassador. And here is our bonus for becoming a fan ambassador. If you're ready for the ultimate music experience, join the 300 Shillings Club. In the 300 Shillings Club, as a fan ambassador, you'll get access to exclusive benefits, where everything only costs you 300 shillings, which includes our stylish Miafa Mavazi clothing and accessories. Show your love for the music wherever you go. Experience Halilyajuu shows and tours like a VIP. Be where the action is. Win big with our fan ambassador raffles, where you can win fantastic prizes like electronics, trips, spa treatments, cash bonuses, and more. Enjoy a world of free rewards, including food vouchers, restaurant outings, and more. It's our way of saying thank you for being a part of our community. Sign up now and contact the fan ambassadors that showed you this video, or just go to Halilyajuu.africa and be empowered, inspired, and entertained by Halilyajuu.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome, brother. That's the latest one, yes?
Yeah. That's the one. It's not the latest one, but it works.
Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm getting some
Kenisha said that was muted.
so do I gotta run it again? So nobody heard it?
Mm-mm.
I heard it.
You heard it? Colin heard it?
I saw it.
I heard it.
I heard it.
Who else didn't hear it?
Kenisha
Your
said
mute
she
was on.
Kenisha, you didn't hear it? I'm gonna send it. If Brother Halil allows me to send it to you, I'll send it to you.
That's fine.
Okay, so
All right. Well, look. Yeah. Okay, Brother Bruce. Okay. So real quickly. Yeah, people heard it. Okay. All right. Good. So real quickly, if you would, Brother Halil, with the concept, if you could, just bring it on in and give, clarity to the concept. You may have already done that. I think you already did, but if you could just give more clarity to the concept as to the benefits all the way around.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, what I'm doing is just providing my music, and it's a little different. No one's done this. I looked it up. I couldn't find anybody have done this. I'm looking to empower my fans as opposed to them empowering me. You know, sometimes, you know, our artists always are looking for it to get paid for their music, and which rightfully so. You know, pay 99 cents for my single, buy my album, which is all understandable. But in the situation I found myself here in, I'm actually paying them to listen to my music. You download my song, I give you some shillings. You come to my concert, I give you some shillings. You buy my T-shirt, I'll give you more shillings. So our whole thing was, how can I empower my fans while they make me successful as an artist? And that was my approach, was can I bring them something as opposed to them bringing me something? I mean, obviously when it comes to fans are investors. And so it's like, man, what if we can invest in our fans and they can turn around and support us? So my whole thought is, if I empower my fans here in Kenya to when they download my song, I give them money for downloading my song for free. They all come to my concert. I can get 5,000 people to come to my concert because they always was giving money from by downloading my music. I don't sell my music to them. I actually give it to them and give them money for downloading my music. So that was where I wanted to begin to approach that. And I have proceeds every time I make money. I put it towards my charities. It's called instant impact charities, like pavement, roads being done, parks being done, trash being picked up. So I have this whole instant impact charity organization that I have, and some of my proceeds, all my music goes to those things here in Kenya. Tying this into America, where some Americans can actually invest and make a profit supporting charities here in Africa. And so that's basically what we're doing with what we're doing. It's called Philanthropy, which, brother, you know that about that too as well. That business is getting ready to get launched off. But basically, that's simply just making everybody in some form or fashion a philanthropist. So that way, the little things you do can go to something in Africa, and you can get a reward for that. The little things that you do, whether it's change from buying something at the market that goes to Africa, that buys a little boy a bike. That goes to Africa, that gets some grass on an area on a park, that gets cement done in an area, and everybody in America that does that, they actually will get a reward, financial reward, kickback for that. So it's like investing in charity. So I know that sounds weird because we don't invest in charity, but in this case, we have it's not an ROI, a return on investment. We call it a return on giving, an ROG, return on giving, because it's about giving, and that's how we approach it. So that's it in a nutshell.
Man, I mean, for me, that's just an awesome concept. I mean, essentially, it's an exchange. It's an equal exchange. You know, individuals are investing in the artist. Absolutely. And it's not a one-sided, it's not a lopsided benefit. You know, it's an equal benefit, you know, to a degree, man. And then, you know, it spreads. You know, you being trapped. You know, it sounds, you know, it's a business that is solution oriented. I'll put it that way. That's what it sounds to me, where identifying, you know, the present economic state and situation of individuals. And it's beautiful that it's seemingly it could be done on this continent, in this particular country, because it's not a capitalistic society. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's not a dog, as far as I know, it's not a dog eat dog mentality. I could be wrong, but as far as I know, and it would appear as though
you're right.
It's something like this would certainly would flourish and will progress. I figure, I mean, it's like I'll put it like this, and I'll shut up. I remember an old Jewish man owned a shoe store, right? I would go to the shoe store. I was a young man, 21 years old, go in there. I'm always looking for the latest shoes so I can buy. And he, for whatever reason, wanted to pull me to the side. And he said to me, this is the words he said to me. He said, listen, he said, he's two things he said. I always remember. He said, it's not how much you can spend, it's how much you can keep. And I didn't understand that at 21 years old. I'm like, how the heck are you going to spend and keep it at the same time? It don't make sense to me. It didn't, right?
Right.
Later on in life, as I began to expose myself to different things, I understood what he was saying. Never let money release from your hands if you're not going to get it back, what you've released, investing. And so if I'm supporting you in the music that you're providing that I love or whatever else, but yet I'm going to get back what I just gave to you, a portion of it, come on, man, all day long. I would love that. I would really love that. So, I mean, there's brilliance all around in this roundtable, man. I really wish I could spend more time on each of you all and sharing of your expertise and your talents and all that you've contributed and are contributing, man. I think we have our other,
Yeah, let me bring him on first.
guest. He didn't give up. He said, I'm going to make sure I get on here. So he didn't give up. So we want to bring him on.
Yes.
But
He's Mr. Tony Africa. He is 58, retired military. He also has been to 6 other African countries. Right now, he resides in Nairobi, but he's actually in Tanzania right now, Dar es Salaam. They were having some network issues, so hopefully he's able to keep a Wi-Fi going on. But he also holds degrees in business education from Binghamton and Columbia University. The brother has had 6 uniform stores between Atlanta and Washington, D.C. Whole bunch of other stuff that's going on, but he's also has some stores here in Kenya as well. We met him in Rwanda, driving his little scooters, and now he currently resides here in Nairobi, y'all. Let's give it up for Brother Tony Africa.
all right, Brother Tony, where is he?
Bottom.
All right.
We didn't do a mic check, so I'm hoping we
I
hear
hope
you.
so.
Hello. Hey, I finally
Can you
made
hear
it.
us, brother?
I can hear you.
We can't hear you.
I can hear you guys.
Oh, wait.
Yes, I can.
Yeah, we got you. We got you.
I can hear you.
Brother Tony, give us a little briefing of who you are, what you've been doing here on the continent, and yeah.
Okay, well, I'm Tony Africa. Been on the continent since 2018, going back and forth. I initially came to Rwanda to manufacture a product that I developed after I finished mortuary school. In addition, I've done a whole lot of retail business, and I currently just travel the continent and make investments and enjoy life.
Awesome. So would you be considered, as you're kind of too young to be retired according to the US laws, but would you be considered as a retiree or just a rich dude that can do this? Like, what would you consider yourself?
I'm not a rich dude. I'm just a retiree and a person just trying to enjoy this stage of life. And there's no other place that I could do it than on the African continent. I've been in the military. I'm retired. I've been all through Europe. Family history. I was born in Brooklyn. My dad comes from a West Indian background, Guyana. So I'm familiar with going to different countries in the Caribbean and different places in Europe. And overall, there's no place like the continent. I reside in Rwanda for a couple of years, back and forth, where I met you guys. I've traveled, like now I'm in Dar es Salaam, I'm in place. Are you still there?
Wow. I want to have your life.
I'm gonna tell you, brother, we met in Rwanda and you kept saying, look, y'all better go check out Kenya. And you would make sure to say, all right, go check out.
I
Said,
told
listen,
you.
you go to Nairobi, you'll love it. And I was like, man, I was hearing you and I was like, man, this sounds like, but I never, ever, ever thought about, I don't know why, I never thought about Kenya. But when we got here, I promise you, you're the first person I thought about. He tried to tell us, and sure enough, everything you said was true to form, for sure, for sure. Yeah.
So what has been,
No, it was
we've
true.
asked
It's like when
about
I
some of
met
the
you guys, I
challenges.
just said to them, like,
Oh,
you're
go
from
ahead.
Philly, then you're coming from Atlanta. I said, you know what? They need to be in Nairobi. They need to be in Mombasa.
You hit it. You was right, brother.
So out of all the African countries that you've been to, because
The
it's
challenges.
a whole little list, are you finding Kenya to have that space that you want to call home? Are you still exploring? Like, what were you looking for anything? Like, what made Kenya be your final choice?
I have a terrible lag. Well, actually, I'm still on this journey. Kenya is the final, but Kenya as a whole, as a country, easily assimilate into lifestyle here. The people, the attitudes, the infrastructure, uh, is just it has everything. And you know, my heart is in Rwanda. You see me come and go many times. Actually, after I leave Dar es Salaam, I'm planning to head back to Rwanda for about a week or two. There is because of the peace. And you know, I watched a brother a couple of weeks ago, Brother Will, and I can identify with his experiences. However, I think when you come as a family, you really have to be prepared. And like the brother Collins said, a lot of African Americans, we come to the continent with the expectation that we want to be welcomed home. Like, yes, we're home. People are going to love us. No, I mean, you go any place in the world. The reality is you're just a person there and they see you as an outsider and you have to find a niche. You have to find a network. And that's one thing that made it easier for me in Rwanda is I had a network of friends and people that I dealt with and that I could rely on. Without that, I think it would have been difficult. It would have been very difficult.
Yeah, we all agree. Without that network, life anywhere here on the continent is difficult. You know, even for us coming to Kenya right now, we're still the newbies. So we still rely on really you guys because we haven't gotten into the network yet. We haven't made any Kenyan friends yet or find the diasporas that's here yet. Like I said, we're still going through our processes, but it would be a lot easier if we had that network already. So that's one of the things we're trying to create here for people that are coming is to create a network already in place so it can make the transition a little easier. You don't have to worry about, all the things that we had to go through. Someone coming behind us shouldn't have to go through that.
Mm-hmm.
Am I on?
He may have a little lag.
Okay.
I don't know if he can.
It looks like Colin. Yeah, Mr. Colin, are you trying to say something? I think I see a finger. I gotta get my glasses on.
Yeah. Hold on. Here we go. Yes, please, brother. Please, Mr. Collins.
Yeah, I was just gonna say something. If you look at all this,
but one thing I say, Rwanda, you guys were such a life.
Hold on, Mr. Collins. I think Tony has a little lag.
Okay.
Okay.
Brother Tony, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish your thought. I think you came in. It's a little lag. Finish your thought.
Yeah, I have a lag, and I'm using my iPhone, so I'm between the laptop and the iPhone. I'm hearing it. But what I want to say, the one thing in Rwanda, you guys were a true asset, not just to myself, but to many other expats there. And to my surprise,
wow,
there are more expats in Rwanda than a lot of us know. A lot of American expats. There are a lot of rich brothers there. I've seen brothers They've gone to clubs. They've taken helicopters to different parts of Rwanda. I've been to spots like there's a Tupac village. I don't know if many people in Rwanda know that, but there's a whole museum of number Tupac Shakur and everything. But you have to have a network, and once you have a network, your life is much easier on these countries. And also, if you come prepared, Africa, everybody think it's cheap. Yes, things are much cheaper, but it can't be expensive. So you have to be realistic. You can't come to Africa with 10,000, 20,000. And I thank God I've been blessed, so I can get around. I can do what I have to do. But if you have the means, this place is amazing. Even Rwanda, you say it's for retirees. Yeah, it's a good place for retirees in Kigali, but if you have the resources, it's incredible. And that's why I found like in Rwanda and Kenya. The other day I posted that roller skating ring, which is the largest in East Africa. I've never seen anything like that in the world.
I've never seen it
all over the world.
that big anywhere. I'm gonna go to Nairobi just so I could go there.
It's amazing. It is amazing. They have everything you want. There's there. If you like horse racing, they have racing horse tracks, and they have different a variety of things. And forgive my lag because I can't hear you, so I'm just talking.
Okay.
No worries. We're working with it. We're working with it. Did I real quick? We're gonna get to Mr. Colin so he can make his comment. But did I hear you say they got a Tupac village in Rwanda?
But you guys are a true asset to Rwanda, though.
Dang, that lag is something.
Oh yes, the owner is a millionaire. It's not that far from. It's probably about 40 minutes, not about 35 minutes from Kigali. But it's a whole village. You chill all day. They play nothing but Tupac videos and hip hop. It's amazing. You see basketball players there, the Rwanda National League. They're there. I'm serious. You have actresses from Kenya. They come there. It's a different lifestyle. I could not believe it. I was like, what? And I'm from Brooklyn.
So, see, if you would have showed us those things, it would have made our journey a little easier.
In that country.
Just left us.
You would never think. You have fellas, then you have brothers that you go to their homes and what's that?
Don't worry about it. Go ahead. Finish what you said. Don't worry about what you said. Just go ahead.
Let Colin speak because we can't hear him.
All right. So look, Brother Tony, listen. We're gonna segue to Brother Colin and let him go ahead and make his comment.
I think I finished.
Hold on. Hold that thought, Brother Tony. Hold that thought. Mr. Colin, please share your thought, please, sir.
Well, it's nice to have a high roller in the group. He's telling us things that we don't know about. Hey, Tony?
Say that again.
I said it's nice to have a high roller in the group discussion. High roller, Tony.
That's right.
Blessings to you, brother. But anyway, what I was going to say is, if you look at the success stories that's coming out of Ghana, people have been there for a while from the diaspora, you would find that most of them are rooted to some extent from a network or a sub-network out of the African American Association in Ghana, right? People use that network, that organization, and they feed off of it. You talk to any of the success stories coming around, you'll find that those guys have a foot in that organization, some kind of a way, right? So Ghana is ahead of us in Rwanda in terms of that, in terms of networking and so forth. You know, but I just want to say to all the people, there's a lot of noise in the background. I can't hear myself.
Can you still hear it?
Yeah, I'm here. I just wanted to say to all the people who have left Rwanda, I think you left too soon. That's all I can say.
Can everyone mute their, if you're not speaking, could you please mute your mic? I think Tony Africa, I think it might be your mic. Okay, let's try it now, Mr. Collins.
Yes, so like I was saying, you know, this is what we do. Networking is very, very important. But remember, the local community here is the one that you really have to tap into as far as knowing what to do, when to do, and so forth, right? And please, I'm begging all my friends. I had some friends who came here from Miami, people that I absolutely love, an older couple like myself, and they were ready to set up here in Rwanda. And somebody, I offered them my network, they were part of my network. Well, some individual, they met some individual from Kenya in Kigali who told them about a deal in Nairobi. I begged them not to do it because they don't have a network there, they don't have connections there, that is a new country to them. They went ahead and did it, and the result was a disaster, right? The result was a disaster. They function outside of a network in a brand new country, based on what some individual said, and they were up quite a bit of money. So there we go. There we go. When you act like a Lone Ranger, you're gonna get shot. That's all I gotta say. Lone Rangers in this part of the world get shot, baby. And so Tony, congratulations,
Mr. Collin, we didn't get it.
Ride the wind. Ride the wind.
So we didn't get a chance to talk about what you do in Masanji, to let the people know that you do have an Airbnb right in the middle of the tourist area where they go gorilla trekking. And can you please share with them, your Airbnb and what you do out there?
Okay, Kenisha knows my Airbnb. When she was here, Kenisha she knows my Airbnb. We had a party at my house when she was here, and so forth. I'm about 15 minutes from the gorillas, where the grayback gorillas are. That's up in Kinigi. I am right outside of town. And I have a cool Airbnb here called Colin Homestay. C-O-L-I-N, one word, H-O-M-E-S-T-A-Y, second word, right? And people come here. I specialize in couples. I like couples. They come here and they spend a night or two, and it's very affordable. I only charge $25 a night. That's all I'm charging. I'm not trying to get rich. I'm just trying to supplement my income. I have guests who left today, and I have guests who are coming tomorrow. And you're close to town. You get into town in 5 minutes, and it's easy to get around there. And private room, private bath, private room, private bath, and you're good to go. You're 5 minutes from town. If you come here by bus, I pick you up from the bus station and I take you back to the bus station. I got plenty of parking in my yard. And that's it. You could Google me. I'm on it's called Colin Homestay. I'm here, baby. So, hey, High Roller, come into town. Spend a night here.
I was reading your comments on
I'm talking to Tony, High Roller. When you come to town, spend a night with me. All right?
Yeah, and I mean, everyone is talking about how you pick them up from the bus stop and you have the greatest hospitality. I was like, okay, Mr. Collin.
Yeah. So there it is.
Can you hear it? Can you guys hear us? Okay.
What?
We had. I just. I wanted to make sure because we had to switch our devices. If we sound a little different or look a little different, we're going pretty long not realizing it. But my wife had made a comment to you, Brother Colin. I don't know if you heard it or not. You'll try it again.
Can y'all hear us okay?
Yes, they said yes.
Oh, I was just saying that when I was reading your comments for your Airbnb, everyone was saying how you picked them up from the bus stop and how you was a great host. So if anyone is planning to go to Masanzi, Masanzi is a good halfway point to get to Lake Kivu. So I do tours as well from Kigali. So a lot of times you can do the stop in Masanzi, spend the night there, and then go on over to Lake Kivu. But we do have Mr. Collins' link in the description, or we will have it in the description if we don't have it right now. And we'll definitely make sure that everyone will get that information.
So I'm gonna tell you, this is, I'm like you, Sister Sandra. I didn't realize we didn't already went past 2 hours. And I'm gonna tell you, really honestly, I don't think we gave enough justice to each of this brilliance that we have. Time really would not permit. It really would not permit. I know that I can say for both of us, each of the individual guests, special guests that we have, we've had some great takeaway from each of them, each of you guys. When we first got here, we met Mr. Colin. He came. He welcomed us. I'll put it like that. He welcomed us by saying, "Look, I'm coming over. I'm coming over. Where you at? I'm coming over." And he came over. He sat with my wife and I, with both of our mothers, and it was refreshing. It was really good to receive that. And I say that because I really believe, and I feel the sincerity when Brother Colin, Mr. Colin, when you talk about the necessity of network. And because you talk the talk and you walk the talk as well, and we experienced that. You welcomed us when we first arrived to Rwanda, and we're grateful for that. And then, Brother Tony, he came, to the restaurant. He was a regular. Sister Dr. Kenisha, the same. When she touched down, they came and shared of themselves with us of what it is that they've been doing and are doing to contribute. Same with Brother Gerard. And Brother Lionel, who's not on here, he was much the same. And so I think that we've already started a network and not even realized that we've already started a network. And it's just a matter, I guess, of really refining and really giving it direction to pertinent matters and pertinent things that will allow for all of us to be able to see the greater benefit beyond us as the individual, but all of us among the diaspora in one way, shape, or form or another. And because we're all contributing in our own way to help not only the diasporas, but also wherever we may be in whatever country we're in on the continent. And for those of us who are looking to come, I think, we're laying an actual path for many. I'm hoping so anyway.
But on top of that, besides just the networking aspect, we wanted to also highlight the greatness that we bring as a diasporan, as a Black person coming from the U.S., coming from wherever we're coming from.
Carribean.
Right. We're bringing with us knowledge, wisdom, experience, things that we plan to bring to the continent to continue the growth and development of where we are. So it's not that we're trying to come and take from the land like other people do. We're coming to try to add on, try to bring our for some people, the retirees, the rich ones, they just bring, at least they're bringing and flourishing and helping to provide an income to those here on the continent, where others are trying to provide jobs, trying to provide some type of network in itself. Because even though we start our network and we bring other people here, those people bring their people, and they start to network between the locals and the diasporans, and they start to build together and they start to create together, and the ideas are being shared and the gaps are closing. So it's also just to make sure that everyone can see value in what we're doing here.
Right.
A benefit of not just us coming and getting whatever coins you could get from them at that moment, but that we actually bring a value where we're trying to come and help to incorporate that into the countries.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So my takeaway, you know, from what I've learned this evening from each of you, to sum it up, is network. We need a network. Healing. Definitely need healing. And business, economics, business, all of that, all of those things there, I heard and I see and I'm experiencing with each of the guests here. And I think that is really very, very timely. And it speaks to us as diasporas, but it also speaks to the family, the African brothers and sisters here on the continent. And there were some questions. Man, I really was hoping that we can get to answer some of those questions.
Next week,
inshallah, God willing, we will be able to maybe follow up and answer some of the questions. We don't want to keep you too much longer. We want to really, really, truly, sincerely thank all of the special guests. I'm hoping that it was well worth your time. We really, really do. And we thank you for the jewels that you've shared and you've left with all of us. And
we're still doing the consultations. We want to thank everyone that has signed up last week. Thank everybody that had blessed us tremendously from our live last week with donations, emails, your time, hitting the like button, subscribe button. We thank you for everything. And we definitely want to thank our guests for giving us their time and energy today. The people have been waiting to hear from you guys. I've been waiting to hear from you guys all week. So thank you so much for chiming in today.
And in the descriptions, go back to the descriptions. We have the information of the guests in the description. I have to add one other. However, look in the description for those who want more information. If you're looking to go to Masanzi, you definitely can reach out to Brother Colin. Those who are looking for more information or want to actually get a healing session with Dr. Kenisha,
before she comes here,
please reach out to her. I saw a comment, Brother Tony, I think we lost him, but someone wanted to connect with you to do business. They have an idea. So we'll be sure to make sure his information is added. And of course, with Brother Halil, his information as well added in the descriptions. Looking to invest, I'm gonna put it like that, with the brilliant concept that he has in supporting of the music and also everything else that it does when you support his idea and his business concept. So thank you so much. The comments from what I'm seeing, they love the guests. Thank you so much. I'm glad and happy about that. I can keep going on. My wife's gonna have to shut me up.
We're done. Thank you guys. Please like, comment, subscribe. Please hit the donation button, CASHAPP, PayPal. How do you say it? PayPal, M-Pesa for our Kenyan folks. We appreciate everything you guys give, and we hope to see you in 7 days.
All right. Have a great week. Thank you so much.
Great, guys. It's been good. It's been good. It's been great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Insurance.